If you are crazy enough to be looking at trying to buy a house in 2023, during the living crisis, looking for your mojo dojo, casa house, then you've come to the right place. I was in the same boat that I bought my house this year in February. First house on my own, so I'm here to give you all of my advice of basically what I wish someone had told me when I was buying a property, so that I'm just basically like your big sister. I just want to tell you everything that I didn't know to try and help you as much as I can. Because I have a tendency to waffle, I've decided to break the video down into 7 chapters. So the first one is the basic foundations. The format of however we're going to look at a house is your savings. I don't know, that sounds so basic, but we have to just review it. Let's just get out the way, okay? But I will put the chapters here. I will put them down below. So if you're past this point and you're like, listen, basic girl, I do not want to listen to you, then just jump to whatever's relevant for yourself. So savings, as basic as it is. The bit that I'm trying to tell you, I'm not going to tell you how much to save. That is not up to me, that's up to you. You know your financial situation. As I said, we're in a living crisis. I don't expect Jesus to be reproducing your savings accounts, okay? But I would recommend certain methods of saving. So I was a personal dafty and just left the majority of my money into a current account. Don't get me wrong, I did get interest on the current account, but it was like £5 a month, which isn't horrific. It's not horrific. I am not objecting to that. That is a Santander current account, by the way, so feel free to go and splooge, splash, and go play with that. But the one I wish I did, which I've only just opened one up, is a fixed term ISA, so 2-year fixed term ISA. I've just opened one up with NatWest, and I think it was 5.9% for 2 years or 5.7% for 1 year. 100% look at an ISA if you haven't got one. However, the other ISAs that you can do is depends if you got one, I personally didn't, is Help to Buy ISA. Obviously they're amazing, they're literally what it says on the tin, the Help to Buy your first property. Or if this is your first property, set up a lifetime ISA. You're capped at $4,000 a year. The interest rate is, she's stunning, she's just stunning. So make sure if you haven't got an ISA that you open up the lifetime one, because you can only access it for 3 things: buying your first property, if you're 60 or above, or if you're being diagnosed with a terminal illness. I think you're allowed, I think you've got 12 months left to live. Grim. But they're the 3 ways that you can access it. So if it is your first property and you didn't get the Help to Buy ISA, 100% go and open one of them. Then obviously you could look at opening like a fixed rate savings account on top if you want to save more than $4,000 a year. Potentially if there's like 2 people going for it, like $2,000 might be enough for you if you want to save more, whatever tickles your pickle, whatever you want, okay? Obviously keep in mind however long it is that you need to be either in a property, or whether, you know, if you need to move in the next 6 months, none of them savings are going to be relevant for you, and you're probably better off doing an instant access savings account. So just bear in mind whatever your circumstances and open whatever it is that's adequate to that. Make sure you subscribe though, like, come on. I'm Antonia, by the way. Hi, nice to meet you. In terms of the second chapter, we've got mortgage advisor. Now, I personally did get a mortgage advisor. It isn't something that you have to do. It's not compulsory in your buying a house situation. But if you get one, do not make the mistake that I did and trust a friend that isn't even my friend anymore. Oh my sweet mother of baby Jesus, research it. Go look for yourself. Go and find reviews. Go find anything. Just go look. Please don't do it with me. I didn't research, then got the mortgage advisor that I got, who was an absolute fruitcake and a half. But anyway, we'll move on from that. Any companies, I will mention a few companies as we go, but I'm only going to recommend good ones. I just don't want it to be a bit like a bashing, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend them, but they're not the worst thing since sliced bread, do you know what I mean? I didn't really have someone to give me advice, so that's why I literally just went down the route to go and get professional advice. But as I said, you don't have to do that. If you've got big brains, you can do it yourself. You don't need, literally, a mortgage advisor, all they do is they go through your finances, they tell you what type of like value of a mortgage you can get in principle, they get your mortgage in principle. And then I did enjoy mine because anytime I viewed a property, I'd send it over to my mortgage advisor and he'd do a review on it. But you can do that yourself. Again, it's not something that you can't do. But he would look at like the previous value properties that sold in the nearby area to see whether the price on it is reasonable, etc, etc. So again, nothing you can't just jump onto Zoopla and have a look at yourself. So it's up to yourself. But I would personally have a look as well if so my mortgage is set for a 5-year fixed rate. So when I then obviously remortgage in 5 years, some companies allow you to go and they don't charge you. My little fruitcake one will charge me £100. I think it cost me like £400 to get the first one with them anyway. So again, these are all things to take into account when it comes to which mortgage advisor that you want. So that's why I personally wouldn't recommend mine, because I know he's going to charge me £100, so you'll be getting launched into the recycling centre at that point. But again, something to have a look into. Third chapter, number 3, house viewings, the exciting part. Oh, she's stunning. I loved looking at houses. Honestly, unreal. I would just do it for fun. Honestly, just give me my leisure time. But this is where you can then distinguish what type of property it is that you want. So whether you want a house, a flat, a bungalow, houseboat, can't really think of any other options. But again, it gives you the detached, the semi-detached, the terraced, you know, you can have a look at different type of things that fit your vibe. For me, the one thing that was like crucial, she cannot move, is I needed off-road parking. I wanted a driveway because I come from a cul-de-sac, and the arguments I had with people over parking my car, it just was not worth my whole energy at all. So I knew I wanted off-road parking, like it was the only thing that was compulsory. Everything else I could change, it didn't really matter. So have bits like that for yourself. I mean, if you're not fussy and you're happy as Larry and you'll have whatever's given, then get that saved and play, go and girl, I am excited. But if you have got some bits, make sure you're adamant on them, like don't change, don't just settle for something. I nearly settled for a house and she was not worth it. So this house was more expensive than the one that I'm in now. This is my house, by the way. This is a corner of a bedroom. Well done. So the original house I was looking at, it was just an absolute shambles, and I will tell you more information about that in a couple of chapters into how I found out about it being a shambles. Hint, it's a survey. But yeah, it absolutely not. So this was a little bit more expensive, but I got a 3-bedroom semi-detached house with a gorgeous long driveway. She's stunning. Don't get me wrong, I might have crashed into my own wall the other day on my way to Barbie, but it was worth it. I just thought the bricks would enjoy a bit of Kent, so why not? Do you know what I mean? Why not? I'm giving Barbie vibes today too. House viewing. So what I'd recommend to do, I personally used apps. So I loved a bit of a Rightmove. I loved Rightmove, you know, that was the one for me. I also did use Zoopla. I know there is a couple of other ones, but they were the 2 that I liked. Another good thing to do is if you go to estate agents, you can do it online, you don't have to physically go there. If leaving household is not your vibe, I completely get it. And you can sign up for like a mailing list, and you can give them the information, so you can tell them like how much your mortgage in principle is, what your like value spectrum is, minimum, maximum, like that vibe, do you know what I mean? The little scaly thing, you can give them that information, you can tell them what type of houses that you're interested in, and then what they'll do as soon as they get a property, before sometimes they release it into like Zoopla or Rightmove, they'll whip a snap of you in an email, boom, boom-tastic, you can book a viewing in before anyone else, because we might be in a living crisis, but holy mother of Joe, every one of the mothers wants to buy a house. So before the pet goldfish can get in before, yeah, it's one thing I would recommend. 100% do that, have your alerts up. I used to literally check Rightmove a solid 4 times a day. Like, as soon as I get up, I just constantly refresh, make sure I've gone through all the properties. Go to your niche. That's where I'm saying, like, the more properties you view, I mean, it's like say yes to the dress. You're gonna know when you're gonna know. And as I said, I had an affair on my house because I nearly bought a completely different house. Make sure it's a prince or a princess before you pick it, do you know what I mean? Just don't settle. You don't deserve to settle. You deserve a lot more than that. So with the property, in terms of what to look at, again, view as many as you want. There's no right or wrong. There's no shame. There's no judgment. It's, as I said, it's such a good fun time thing. If you want to take someone with you. If you want to go and look at them or get a second opinion or anything like that. Things to check when you're in house though. Don't just walk around, because honestly, the estate agents push it in, out, shake it all about. You literally do the okey dokey and you turn around and you're gone. Check the lights, switch them on, see, make sure they work. Open kitchen cupboards might be a bit rude if it is the house owner that's there, but just say to them, am I okay to look into them? Like, if not, what are you hiding in there? A dead body? Like, why can't I look? I'm not bothered about your organisation skills, hon, that is not my issue. I just want to see if it opens. Open all your cupboards, open closets. Now, one thing that doesn't work for me is my shower. Who checks a bloody shower? Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying go and get a wash when you go around people's houses, that might be a bit weird. But again, something to, you know, if the owner's there, ask them, take a shower on, hon, do you know what I mean? Can I just make sure everything works? Turn your taps on. Weird, I know, but you can check the water pressure. Something that's quite, like, seems irrelevant, right? And it probably is. But for me personally, now I'm trying to get a new shower and I still haven't had a working shower since February when I moved in. Oh, she's a nightmare. And getting a new bathroom, also a nightmare. I thought a bathroom was about £5,000. Big fat no. It's about 8. And I'm not joking. I am not joking. I am no Elastigirl. I can literally physically put one arm to the other end and the other end, and I'm basically the whole bathroom. And I know I'm a chunky monkey, I'm not saying that for free, but this arm spectrum is not a full chunk. Again, no Elastigirl is here, so my bathroom is minuscule. Anyway, so little things to just keep an eye out for. Check all them type of things. Look at the boiler, look at the age of the boiler if you know any of that information. If not, take a picture. Find a whoever, plumber? Is a plumber deal with a boiler? I'm assuming, maybe. One of the two. Go and ask them. See if you can find out the information. Google it. They're all quite expensive things that if you need to change them, she's expensive. So just again, all things to keep in mind when it comes to viewing a house. If you are then lucky enough to find the love of your life in this house and it's just perfect in every single way, you can envision yourself there and it's just stunning, it's all coming together, make an offer, right? Try and be as quick as you can. I know it's a hesitant thing. I am the most indecisive human being that I know. It knocks me physically sick, honestly. But it is something I'd recommend doing quite, like, as quickly as possible. Please don't rush into that though. As I said, with my previous house that I was going to buy, I literally put an offer in. I wasn't happy with the offer that I put in because my mortgage advisor mentioned that once the survey comes back, we can look at renegotiating the offer and getting it down, because I was like, it's at least 15,000 more than what I'd want to give them. I know that it is a competitive market, but it's so important to think that if you don't get it, it won't house for you. Something bigger, something better is going to come along and you won't even think about the house. You'll think of it as a learning curve, which is what I did for the previous house that I was going for. Like, honestly, I thought, thank the gods I didn't get in it, right? So don't panic if you want to take an extra day, you know what I mean? But just think, is it meant to be? Is it not meant to be? Like, I don't know that some people don't believe in that, but it's quite an important thing when it comes to, like, buying a house. Things that are on the face value, you can't argue about when your offer goes through. So the windows, check your windows as well, because one of my windows is broken. Horrific. I still haven't got it done, you know. Your handles, see you later, snapped off. I didn't want it anyway, do you know what I mean? So again, little things to check, but your windows, your doors, anything you can physically see, you can't argue with once you get your survey done. So just bear that in mind. But if everything's fabulous, you get your offer accepted, stunning. So we're then on to the next stage of getting your survey done, picking your solicitors. Like, it's quite chunky, right? Survey, 100% get that done pretty much straight away. But again, get your solicitors on the ball. So with solicitors, again, now if you've got a mortgage advisor, great. Do not trust them with your life when it comes to picking a solicitor, because they'll recommend someone, because obviously they get commission for recommending them. Ew, get in the bin. Don't trust them. And I don't mean that in a rude way. Maybe it's because I've got trust issues with mine, but 100% would not recommend doing that. Take that information. I'm not saying just pretend you're legally deaf and you cannot hear them. Take whatever information it is that they've got, but go and do your own research. I picked the solicitors. Oh my God, honestly, devastating. They were horrific. Absolutely vile. And obviously, if my accent isn't giving me away, I'm obviously from Liverpool. My solicitors that I originally picked, I think, were in Doncaster. No shade to Doncaster, shade to this freaking law firm, because they were like absolute nightmares. But it's a nightmare because I know you don't have to have them local to you, but it makes the process so much easier. Because if they're far away, which is something I didn't think about, you've got to send your documents back and forth. Sometimes it's electronically because some companies are better and bigger than others, but some of them don't and you prefer them in paper form, and then you've got to wait for the mail. It just extends the process. If you're not in a rush, then you know what, I'll take your time, do you know what I mean? But don't just look at the price. Like, honestly, look at everything. Look at the turnaround of, like, how quickly they get things done. Same with your surveys. So my mortgage advisor recommended me a survey company. I think they were like £600 for the survey. I got the level 2 RIC survey, and now you can get a higher one than that. You can get a lower one than that. That's the one I would recommend. It checks majority of the things, and it was really good. I went with a company called Complete Home Surveys in Liverpool. Stunning, honestly, they're fabulous. I think it was £400. No, 395 I think for my first one, and then obviously when I got them again, I think they knocked like £25 off or something, and you know, it's just the little things. They were so rapid in getting back to me. Also check the times when the survey can actually be completed, because I was ringing different companies, and I think one of them was like £500, but they couldn't do it for like 3 months, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? So the complete home surveys in Liverpool, they literally done it within the next week, paid them, everything was done. I got the review within 2 working days. And the honestly so beautiful. Sean is the one who normally does the surveys. I literally messaged him, was like, can I have a phone call? And he went through the survey with me, and that's when he told me with the first house I was going for, basically the whole thing needed ripping out and a brand new house putting up, to be honest. It was that much wrong with it. There was damp all downstairs, like everything just needed gone. So from that, obviously it convinced me to be like, no, this is the house for me. I'm going to walk away and leave it at that. With Solicitors, Bell, Lamb and Johnson, wow, unreal. Oh my god. Obviously I went with the one in Liverpool. Stunning. My solicitor was called Rachel. Honestly stunning. Wow. They have an app. You literally upload majority of information electronically, so it's so quick, so fast, everything's on there. And then they give you, because they're absolutely gorgeous, because one thing that'll do your head and you'll constantly want updates. Obviously you want updates, everyone wants updates, and you want to know what's going on. Do you know the amount of people that will ask you, how's it going with the house? Honestly, I wanted to start killing people. I was like, do you know, when I have an update on, I will tell you, leave me alone. So the fabulous thing with Bell Lamb and Johnson is they literally have a whole list of everything that needs to be gone through before you'll be able to buy the house, and it has like a little card with a little house at the end that like shows you the progress of how far you've gone, and it'll literally tick the dates off whenever everything's done. It'll tell you when things are pending. You'd have an instant messenger, so you can literally message a solicitor, what are the odds? I didn't even know that was a thing. And it was just honestly so fluent, to the point that my offer got accepted, I think, was it just before Christmas? And then they didn't start obviously doing the proceedings and the work until just after New Year. I think it was just after my birthday, because I'm like the 5th of January. They started it pretty much then, and I was in the house by the 28th of February. So it literally took them about 6 weeks, if that, to get me all through the whole thing. And don't get me wrong, I was rapid. Anything they asked for me, I would go there, I would sign everything, I'd get everything done. But it shows how good they was too. So 100% I would recommend them. Just bear in mind, obviously, in the process of everything that you need to do in that situation, it is quite long-winded. Especially like if you need to provide bank statements, you need to prove where all your money's come from. Like I had a separate savings account, I had to send them all the bank statements of that. You've got to, if you get a gift, you've got to get their bank statements, you've got to get their signatures. Like there's so much to it. So that is the most long-winded process. I was lucky that the house I was buying was from someone who lives in Australia, so they weren't occupying it and they've been renting it beforehand, so I weren't waiting for them to move out, potentially again help me get in so quickly. So bear that in mind on the houses that you're going for, because it'll tell you whether they're trying to move out and whether they're trying to get a different property, and again that can make the process longer. But overall, they're probably the best factors, I would say. Research everything. Don't be daft to it. Don't let people give you advice, and it might be the bestest friends in the entire world, but they might have a completely different experience to what you had. Like I said, with the person I used to be friends with, I had a completely different experience with the mortgage advisor to what I did. And again, it can be a personal thing. It could be me. I could be Taylor Swift and I could be the problem. Do you know what I mean? I'm quoting a song, not her as a person. Do you know what I mean? Like, hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. That's the one. Don't take it judgment. But yeah, it could be that, like, completely, like, I get, like, people vibe different. So it's just something to think about when you're coming to buying the property. And then obviously the final chapter, the chapter 7, is moving in. So the best part, I would say 100%, is when you get them keys and you go up to the door and you unlock it, and it's just amazing. For me, it was quite daunting. As I said, I moved in on my own, and I will do a separate video about living on my own. In my 20s, like, it took me a lot to get used to, and it's only now that, like, I feel like I'm getting comfortable in my own home. But it's so exciting. Honestly, decorating, I'm quite content to go through with every day of the week. But yeah, that's pretty much my advice when it comes to buying a house in a living crisis in general. Whether it's a living crisis or not, it's just obviously wild at the minute in terms of like how rapid you need to be with certain things. And yeah, it's one of them. But it's been lovely to have you here. If you liked me, obviously you did, of course, please subscribe. I'm definitely going to get back onto doing more YouTube videos, being so anxious about coming back, especially when I look like an absolute sweaty mess. Ew, she's shining, I can't cope. You literally could see your reflection on my cheek right now, hon. And my hair, oh, she's something else. But at least you're getting to see me literally looking like an absolute rascal, do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Be with the worst, get through the best, all that fun and jazz. So there's a couple of exciting things that are coming up. So again, subscribe. I'm going to go. See you later. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Good luck buying your house.